Many of you might have known the good side of Mahatma Gandhi, but here's the downside of him. The first ethical issue that Gandhi might have faced was his selfishness as a leader. He wanted to have partition of India and he insisted his decision even though there were some people who object to it. He showed his selfishness without considering the others' opinion, and this also led to the assassination of the Hindu radical Nathuram Godse. Godse felt that Gandhi had gave in too much to the Muslims and brought unfairness to the Hindus. Also, Godse's justification of why he killed Gandhi was that he claimed that Gandhi had developed a subjective mentality under which Gandhi alone would be the final judge of what was right or wrong. From Godse's view as a Hindu, it was unfair that Gandhi wanted to share India with other religions other than Hindu, and also by sharing India with Muslim, he viewed it as anti-national. In our opinion, Gandhi's decision of the partition was a selfish decision. His idea of bringing equality to the Muslim did not take into account of the opinions from the Hindus. People claim that he is a democratic leader. However, in this case, he made the decision alone as he insisted that his decision will cause no harm but bring peace between the Hindu and Muslim. Besides, we think that Gandhi saw only the good side of the partition of India and ignored the bad side which is causing the Hindus develop hatred towards the Muslim as the Hindus had to share the country with Muslims. Gandhi preached about bringing peace between the Hindu and Muslim if the Hindu and Muslim develop hatred towards each other. By sharing the country will not do any good for their relationship. To greater extent, a war might be started to fight for the power of ruling the country by any of the two parties. Moreover, the way of Gandhi solving the problem of the objections by Hindu was irrational. Instead of taking the Hindus' opinion into consideration and trying to make sense of their opinion until both parties come to an agreement on how to unite Hindu and Muslim, Gandhi decided to fast despite of Hindus' objection towards his decision, which we view it as a trait towards the Hindus and it was irrational or unethical for leader to do so. The second ethical issue that Gandhi might have made was psychological molestation. Many people might not know, Gandhi had a non-contact sexual experiment on testing his own chastity and control over his lustful intention in order to give the best service to humanity. He set up ashram and young women was asked to sleep with him naked on the same bed, and to prove his purity, he will not touch or have any sexual relationship with the woman that slept with him. One of the young women who slept with him was his grandniece, Manu. Gandhi said to her, "We must put our purity to the ultimate test so that we know that we are offering the purest of sacrifices and we should now both start sleeping naked." Moreover, after a few objections from the others that Gandhi's act was improper, but Gandhi's justification was, "I regard it as essential that Manu should sleep with me, and if I don't let her sleep with me, wouldn't that be a sign of weakness in me?" In our opinion, Gandhi's experiment was seen as psychological molestation. While Gandhi wanted to have the experiment, he did not consider the consequences that might cause to the litigants. The young women who slept with him were at their early 20s. During the century, women tend to obey to men, and Gandhi was not just an ordinary man. He was a man with power, and therefore, the young woman agreed to sleep naked with him in order for him to prove his purity. However, in the contemporary point of view, it is immoral and unethical to do so. The psychological trauma that brought to the young woman after involving in the experiment with Gandhi was not taken into account. Furthermore, even if the family members of the young woman objected to his experiment, he insisted to go on with the experiment. This may brought some shame to the young woman. Their family members and friends around them might judge or discriminate them as they slept naked with a man who has no intimate relationship with them. Furthermore, during Gandhi's experiment, he mentioned that his organ was also aroused, meaning that he has no 100% of confirmation that he can control his lustful intention, but he still insisted to go on with his experiment. An important highlight of this event is that what if he is not able to control his sexual drive and has sexual intercourse with a young woman he slept with? This may be considered as rape and it will destroy the woman's reputation. In short, the psychological trauma that the young woman had to bear by involving in the experiment was unnecessary if the Gandhi did not help the experiment and find other ways to prove his purity.
created using Powtoon.